Welcome to disconnecting from the 3D matrix. Oh, what an awesome subject, huh? I think a lot of us are ready to disconnect from the 3D matrix. So my understanding is that there is a big shift coming on December 22nd. You know, I feel like things will actually become even more intense as the energy is shifting. You know, and it depends on where you are energetically as well. Apparently, the gap between the two groups, the 3D or people who are going to stay in 3D and the people who are moving up to 5D will get even wider. Meaning the 5D people, the energy will become more expansive. And I'm sure it will not be without some growing pains for us. And the people are staying in 3D, the energy will become more confined and more dense, okay? Remember that 3D, the low vibration is all about density. The high vibration you go, it's lighter, okay, lightness. You know, it's so funny because I just found out about this shift the other day, or like yesterday, and I had scheduled this talk a week ago. And it's no coincidence, I believe, that I'm giving this talk about disconnecting from the 3D matrix today on December 18th, you know, 4 days prior to this big shift occurring, okay? It is also no coincidence that I specialize in helping people with the Ascension process as a spiritual healer and teacher, and that I just recently actually completed a design of a system to help guide you in your rise and give you the tools and the know-how to actually do it. And not only disconnect from 3D, but to also help you create your own alchemy to 5D health and living. It's going to be like a cocoon, if you will, nurturing you to make this journey into 5D. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end. There is a lot of changes that need to occur within us to going through this process. You know, everything in 3D is designed to keep you in 3D. But I want to assure you that it is very possible to become independent of this 3D matrix, but it's not necessarily that easy, okay? In order for us to get out of the system, we must first get the system out of us, okay? Which requires internal change. There is no need for you to wait for the stars to align on this, okay? They've been aligned for quite some time already. You can start getting off of this 3D treadmill as soon as you decide that you're ready to do that, okay? You can start as soon as today if you want, which I would highly recommend, because it will take time to make the necessary changes and to align and adjust to a new way of being, okay? But first, I want to say congratulations on you being here and taking the time out of your busy schedule to make this a priority for yourself. I think this is definitely a worthwhile priority to make. Just being here tells me that your soul has signed up for this 5D experience. You know, some folks will remain in 3D. Not everybody's going to go to 5D, all right? And it has nothing to do with good, bad, or ugly. It's just that the kind of experiences the soul wants, basically, to have. But first, before we get all into this nitty-gritty, I want to say, I'll go over some ground rules. So please do not turn on your video or audio during the presentation. You'll be seeing my slides and listening to me talk for the next 60 minutes. Please do not try to multitask, set everything aside. And make this a priority truly, because you want to, you know, to get the most out of this talk, you'll want to pay close attention to what I'm saying. If you have questions that come up during the talk, please write them down. I will open it up for a few minutes at the end to answer any questions you have, okay? Also, you'll want to stay all the way to the end, because at the end I will share with you how you can actually become the authority on your own health. A key factor as things will actually become more intense in our society, and how to create your own alchemy to your 5D health and living and ultimately thrive, okay? In spite of all this negative stuff that we're experiencing, These are some of the most auspicious and exciting times right now because of where we're headed and the infinite potential that we have for soul freedom, for living fulfilled lives, for being free to use our voice and our divine gifts, for living in full expression of our authentic selves, for experiencing life from the vibration of love, peace, and joy, and living in truly in abundance. And that's what's waiting for us in the 5D, okay? So you are in the right place if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired and getting a runaround when it comes to your own health. I'm talking about all the Western medicine stuff that's going on. If you truly want to be healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, okay? If you want to rise in vibration and live from a space of love rather than fear, okay? If you are ready for all that negative energy to end, if you're ready for the dark thoughts and the overthinking and the doubts to exit your mind, if you're ready for clarity to replace your confusion, if you're ready for hope, love to replace your fear, if you're ready for blessings and success to fill your life, and if you're ready for your light to shine so bright that nothing can dim it, okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about me and who I am. You know, as an intuitive spiritual healer, teacher, and warrior at heart, during the past 15 plus years in practice, I've witnessed some amazing healing miracles. And I've helped thousands of people basically improve their lives in significant ways. However, it's been a long journey for me to get where I am today. And it certainly hasn't been easy, and it has not been without sacrifice. Unlike so many, I do actually walk my own talk of healing and transformation. Over the past 15 plus years, I've healed many of my own past lifetimes, including past life persecutions I've experienced from my divine gifts, so that today I can shine my light with confidence and light your path. You know, and you may be on a very similar journey. And perhaps right now the times are tough for you. Perhaps you're experiencing the whole dark night of the soul. But I am here to tell you that you too can become the light for others, okay? If you have divine gifts and you have things to share, you can get there. And there is a reason why you are going through your tough times. You are meant to follow your divine destiny and shine your light. But as it is, diamonds are actually made under pressure. And that's quite often why us warriors and healers and teachers, you know, have the toughest times because of that, okay? In addition to my spiritual journey, I've also had a very significant journey around physical challenges that really, in a nutshell, help me understand how we are creating so many of our diseases today and dependencies on the 3D system, okay? And I've also found my own natural cures where Western medicine claims to have none, all without the aid of any experts or specialists, without billions of dollars of funding or PhDs, okay? Because of my different journeys, I've come actually full circle, and I understand both the spiritual as well as the physical side of things, and how we create disease and dysfunction in our spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional self, okay? You know, and there was a time when I bought into that whole Western medicine system as much as some of you are today, probably. You know, what caused me to finally take my power back and take charge of my own health? Well, it was really a decision on my part. And it was actually there was a big turning point in my life when that happened. You know, many different experiences led up to it. More and more, I came to realize that I wasn't getting the help I needed in the medical industry, even in alternative healthcare. You know, the medical industry is predominantly driven by greed, as we probably most of us can agree on today. You know, there's so much false propaganda about what health is. It's absolutely mind-boggling, okay? And in the alternative health care, there are bits and pieces that are good, but no one seems to have the whole picture. And a lot of the same concepts around health are being actually transferred from Western medicine to alternative health care, including also into the metaphysical world. Take, for example, there's such thing as what they call spiritual surgery. And the concept is based on the Western medicine idea of cutting away a bad part of you, right? Surgery. Well, in the spiritual world, why would you want to do that? Okay. That's so interesting to me, that whole concept transfers into the spiritual world. The idea of wellness is really about wholeness, because we function the best in our purest whole form of being, okay? Life tends to disconnect us. It causes separation. It causes us to fracture our soul, and when I say life, I'm talking about all the pain we experience and the trauma as we go through life. Healing or bringing ourselves back to health spiritually is about coming back into wholeness. It's about integration rather than removing any part of us or our energy that's good, bad, or ugly, right? And yet in the metaphysical world, a lot of modalities are about cutting, removing, clearing, releasing, getting rid of bad energy, right? Rather than integration. And it does actually create energetic holes, all right? So for me, the turning point actually came when I was working with a naturopath that initially helped me remove a kidney stone, for which I will be forever grateful, but then ran me into the ground health-wise. She kept me going for another year because of candida, and it was just too long. And I ended up feeling worse after 1 year of working with her than I felt when I started. And it was because I started actually having allergic reactions to the herbs she was giving me. And as she came from the medical field into the alternative health, doing good things actually, colonics, detox, herbs, but she also transferred some bad habits from the medical industry, like not communicating with the client or the body, and not understanding that you can't continue taking herbs for a long time without a break, without causing adverse reactions, okay? And her attitude toward me at the end was the cherry on top. And this was when I decided to take my health matters into my own hands. The best thing I have ever done. Because I figured out things for myself that nobody, not in the medical industry, not in the alternative healthcare, told me at all, diagnosed within me at all, okay? For me, this whole journey started when I met my twin flame about 15 years ago, who turned my world actually upside down and essentially thrusted me into my spiritual journey of healing and transformation. I remember going through the awakening process thinking nothing is what it seems. It was such a profound set of experiences. I actually wrote a whole book about it. It's called Meeting My Twin Flame. You can find it on Amazon or on my website if you like a good read. They say that everything happens for a reason, and I do believe that. And there is no doubt in my mind that I've been taken on all these different journeys to prepare me for today and putting me in this position today to be able to help you in the ascension process. Whatever the stuff you're going through, the tough times, is preparing you for helping others as well in this world. So don't disregard that. Let's see here. So let's talk about disconnecting from the 3D matrix. Rising into 5D is not something that actually will happen to you by accident. It is something that you actually must do. No one is coming to your rescue here to whisk you away to some other planet, all right? That's not happening. And I know a lot of people are in that mode of thinking, Yes, the planets have been aligning and shifting and supporting us in this rise like never before, okay? For example, the veil has been incredibly thin, allowing us to see our past lives very easily and actually heal them. And this has not always been the case. You know, the vibrations on our planet have been steadily increasing since probably about 2003, is my understanding, supporting us in our ascension by flushing out our unresolved issues by means of the drama that we experience in our daily lives so that we can heal them, okay? And even though our priorities and desires have been changing collectively, we still have to work on our individual vibration, okay? Let that sink in a bit, okay? Even though our priorities and desires have been changing collectively, and there's been changes happening collectively on the planet for this ascension, you know, we still have to work on our individual vibration. This entire pandemic has been part of the ascension process to help us rise. And some of you may be wondering, how the heck can she say that? And I'll get into that in a minute. You know, it is up to us how we perceive and internalize what is happening. We can be completely freaked out by the pandemic, or we can look at the big picture and make medicine out of it. For example, people losing their jobs because of the jab mandates is not entirely a bad thing. Looking at the big picture, it's actually forcing us to potentially work for ourselves and disconnect from the 3D matrix. It's just spirit giving us a kick in the butt, if you will, okay? See, 5D is all about working for ourselves, right? And it's about living in full expression of our authentic selves, living from our heart's desire instead of working a job for someone else, right? And so see how it's pushing us in that direction? This stuff that's happening and that we may think is negative, but it's really pushing us into a new way of being. See, the challenge is that we have this dependency on the 3D system, and we keep creating more dependency the more we use it, okay? And as long as you work for someone else, for example, you don't know how to work for yourself, right? It's a different ball game. Someone paying you a regular paycheck or you having to create your own paycheck is very different, okay? Another example of our dependency is the entire mainstream media that is constantly bombarding us with fear, right? Mind you, of a virus that is no more deadly than the flu virus, okay? And the more you listen to it, the more you keep stuck in the low vibration of the 3D matrix, because that's where the fear and anxiety is. It's in the lower vibrations. That is the 3D matrix, okay? And in the low vibrations, you are easier to manipulate, you're easier to hypnotize, and you buy their BS belief systems. See, they feed you fear, they manipulate you to believe there is a deadly virus and a pandemic, and now they feed you a solution, right? The vaccine. And all of it keeps you stuck in low vibration, okay, in the 3D. Now compare that to the high vibration, right? In high vibration, you don't have fear. In the high vibrations, you have love, right? Fear is very low in vibration, see? So you don't have fear. Viruses can't survive in the high vibration, so you don't have any viruses. So if you don't have a virus up there, you don't have any fear, you don't have any pandemic in the high vibrations. And of course, then there's no need for vaccines either, right? And remember that in high vibrations, you have more health. You're healthier, okay? See how that differs from vibration to vibration as to how we may experience life completely differently. See, and perception is everything. Our perception differs based on our vantage point, based on our internal experiences, conclusions we have drawn, our limiting beliefs we have developed, right? Where we are on the vibrational tone scale. And our perception is very much driven by our subconscious mind and all the stored up unresolved pain we carry. It's like looking through colored glasses. You may see the tree as green. I see it as red. And you know what? We can argue all day about that, and neither of us will change our minds. Isn't that how things have been going out there amongst people? You know, perception alters our behavior and influences how we experience life, basically, right? Another example of dependency is the pharmaceutical industry and all their medications to only treat symptoms, teaching us that there's no cures and supplying us with a slew of side effects so that we keep coming back for more, right? And so you have that dependency going, right? That revolving door. When the fact of the matter is that your body may be deficient on vitamin C, D, or A, but will never, ever be deficient in Zoloft, okay? I can tell you that for a fact. So as long as we have fear, they can feed into our fear. See, because they don't give you fear, you already have fear. They're just hooking you by your fear, all right? And so long as we give away our power, they will keep us powerless and dependent, all right? And a key point here is understand that it always takes two to tango. They're not doing this to you. You are participating, okay? There is no such thing as a victim. We're all participating, okay, in this stuff. And by the same token, you should feel more empowered that you can choose not to participate. You have the power. See, but the change has to occur within you. You have to unhook yourself from that system, okay? And only then is that change going to be reflected and manifested in your reality when you make that change within. So you have a very clear choice to make here. You can let all that negative stuff pull you down river with it, right? Or you can take charge and start swimming upstream as fast as you can. Upstream, you know, being higher in vibration. So the first option is easy. All you have to do is nothing, right? You just float. And how many of us are doing exactly that in our lives? We're just floating, right? And then the second option requires work. It may require you to also learn how to swim, right? See, some of you actually think you are swimming because you're thrashing in the water, you're moving your arms and legs and splashing, but the fact is that you're not moving an inch and the current just keeps dragging you down with it, all right? And last, I want to say that, you know, there's three kinds of people: those who watch things happen, those who make things happen, and then those who wonder what happened. You know, which category do you find yourself in? See, in order to move up into the 5D, and I'm being very frank with you guys here because, you know, don't feel offended by what I say, because I want you to succeed. You know, I want you to get it. You know, in order to move up into 5D and have completely different experiences, you're going to have to, first of all, rise in vibration, because, you know, the 3D is low vibration, you know, fear and all that stuff, anger, it's all in low vibration. You're going to have to rise up from that. You may have to heal certain dependencies by addressing certain inadequacies that cause you to want to use the external as a crutch because you don't believe in yourself and your power, okay? But that all can be changed. It can be shifted within you. You may have to change some beliefs, like perhaps you don't believe that you can be healthy without medications, even though medications are the cause of most of our diseases, okay? Or you may have to change some patterns and shift some paradigms. You may have to develop a different way of thinking and behaving. You know, you may have to give up a job, a paycheck, and develop self-confidence and start working for yourself. Gosh, wouldn't that be nice? And work for your own dreams. Oh my gosh, right? But it's going to take some changing, some internal growing, you know. See, true freedom, which is what we are seeking from the 3D matrix, is to be free from it, right? Comes from within. As within, so without, right? We cannot truly be healthy and live in high vibration while we're dependent on medications and a 3D system that continues to make us sick, okay? Our physical ailments will always bring us down vibrationally. even if we are vibing high spiritually, okay? So if you have your physical stuff going on, even if you're spiritually high vibing, that spiritual stuff will take you down vibrationally, okay? You have to have a complete health in all areas of your bodies. You know, you may have to give up some of the dependencies on the external, like doctors, medications, or even money, and replace it with trusting spirit. Some of us may have to first reconnect with our spirit, right? And partner up and learn how to work with and trust our higher self. You know, some of us haven't done that for a long time, and some of us are very disconnected from that. So I want you to take a moment and go through this little exercise here. I want you to write down for yourself from 0 to 10, 10 being like the highest. How much do you trust your spirit right now? How connected do you feel with your spirit? Again, from 0 to 10. How much do you trust and follow your intuition? How much do you communicate with your higher self? So take a moment and write that down, you know, because up in the 5D, it's all about being connected with our spirit and following our spirit and trusting our spirit and moving away from the material stuff, right? That's all 3D. And just use whatever number comes to your mind right off the bat, because you know internally. So to become healthier, we may have to start communicating with and listening to our body, for example, right? Instead of our doctor. What if you could learn how to muscle test and ask the right questions and find out what exactly is wrong with your body and what does your body need? What if you could do that just from your home through muscle testing and some research? You know, is this possible? Am I talking out of my ass right now? No, I'm not, because I've actually been doing this, okay? And I've been healing myself without, you know, the aid of doctors and medicines and all that stuff, right? So the question is, do you know how to communicate with your body? You know, sometimes being unhealthy also means we need to heal our unresolved pain, because conflict within our spiritual self, right, can cause ill effect or pain in our body, okay? And we may have to take our power back and become the authority on our health. Wouldn't that be something, right? Well, it can feel scary, I get that, you know, because I've been there. I mean, I've walked this journey, you know? So again, I want you to take a moment and do this little exercise and write down for yourself from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. How much do you rely on doctors today? Whatever number comes to your mind first, write that down. And how much do you rely on medications? Even over-the-counter stuff, you know, Pepto-Bismol, Tylenol, whatever. And prescription stuff too. And how dependent are you on the 3D matrix? Allow whatever number pops up in your head to be that number. How dependent are you on the 3D matrix right now? We have lots of dependencies. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, some of you may be doubting that there is possibly a different way of being or doing, you know, because you are so bought into the present system. You don't see how to do things differently. And I get it, you know, I understand because I've been there, okay? There was a time I couldn't fathom existing without medical insurance, or not going to the doctor when I didn't feel well, okay? Or asking the doctor for advice on something. Today, I find it almost ridiculous going to someone else to tell me how my body feels and what it needs. Okay, to me now, today feels like an oxymoron to do that, right? But been over the last 7 or so years, working with myself, on myself, and so forth, right? So as we rise in vibration, one of the things I've come to learn, and as we change our way of thinking and being, there's doors that open to us of other possibilities that weren't visible to us before, okay? And I'll give you an example out of my life. So like I had an issue around kidney stones for a while there, and it was due to me having been poisoned with arsenic, believe it or not. And so the first procedure I had received was in a hospital, okay, where they actually put you under full anesthesia, gave me CPR antibiotics, the worst antibiotic ever, okay. And, the procedure costs anywhere from like $4,000 to about $11,000. And they had to do it twice because they didn't get it the first time. They go up inside you with a camera and a laser. And so they pumped me full of this anesthesia twice. Now that had heavy metals in it too. Very invasive, even though they're not cutting you per se, but it's still invasive. And I remember coming out of the hospital and my energy was down the tubes. I mean, I was crawling energetically. I was falling asleep while I was eating. And this didn't just go away. I didn't know what was wrong with me, but it was absolutely horrifying. And it wasn't but 7 years later, after I took the reins of my own health into my own hand, that I figured out I had contracted the Epstein-Barr virus at that hospital. I had contracted some kind of Candida parapsilosis blood infection, some kind of a crop fungus, and a spiritual entity of all things, okay? And it took me years to get this all out of my system and get myself to my energy back up to some normality. Well, 2 years later, I had another kidney stone. Well, this time I thought, I'm going to die if I go to this hospital again. There's no way, because I hadn't even recovered from all this stuff yet. I didn't know what was wrong with me. So one of my clients referred me to a naturopath. So I went the naturopath route. Cost me perhaps maybe $1,000 or so because we did lots of colonics and herbal stuff and cleanses. And she actually helped me get the stone out in about a month and a half. Right. So the cost was about $1,000 and it took about a month and a half. And it was virtually painless to lose that stone. It was great. And it was non-invasive. It was awesome. The third time, another 2 years later, I had another kidney stone. This time I had actually taken my health into my own hands. Okay. And so this time a woman had offered me some kind of a sulfate substance, I forget what it is, that you can put drops into your water and you drink it every so often, every few minutes, and it dissolves the stone. And so I did that out of my own home this time. It took about 3 days and another 3 days because I had 2 stones, turns out. So in about a week, I got rid of 2 stones. All right, no pain. And it cost me about $11. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because of the difference in ways of doing things, okay? And how much easier it actually becomes, when you're coming from that 5D aspect of doing things naturally, all right? And instead of going the Western medicine route, which was basically this horrific procedure at the hospital I had, and it's much more expensive that way too. So just to give you some concepts here of different ways of doing things from a health standpoint. Anyway, I dare you to spend 12 months with me where I teach you how to do things differently, teach you concepts that embrace life, that are healing, where I teach you how to muscle test and communicate with your body and do your own research. Where I teach you how to identify whether your ailments are of spiritual or physical nature. Where I teach you how to create your own supplements energetically. This is another thing that I've come to learn in my journey, and that is, how the FDA has been taking good supplements of the market that are actually healing, like NAC, for example. They completely taken it off the market. And it's actually helps your liver, right? And so it doesn't exist anymore. You can't get it because they don't want us to have the good stuff. So I actually, Spirit put me on this whole tour of learning how to create supplements energetically. And I can teach you how to do that. You know, also where I teach you, where I take you through guided healing meditations to help you integrate your pain experiences and heal your mental, emotional, physical body, to help you completely eliminate any fear and anxiety. You don't need any pills for any of that, okay? This is a completely organic, natural process of doing it. And I've been in this industry for long enough to have seen amazing results. And not even medical doctors are able to do this kind of stuff because they're not even considering the spiritual side of things, okay? For example, I had one client with chronic UTIs. I mean, he kept having UTIs, urinary tract infections is what they are. And he was like clockwork at the hospital, at the doctor's office every month, okay? And they kept putting him on, you know, stronger and stronger antibiotics. And so, you know, he would get over it, right? Taking antibiotics, and then a week later he'd have it again, okay? We did some healing work with him, spiritual healing work. The UTIs completely disappeared, not to come back again, okay? This is how powerful this stuff is, all right? And I've had many different instances like that. So let's talk a little bit about the vibrational tone scale. I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but basically this is your tone, you know, which is your emotion. This is where it is on the tone scale. So like at the bottom here, this lower stuff right here where it says suffering, see that? This is all the lower vibrational stuff. This is 3D stuff, okay? This is where 3D is, the low vibrations, all right? As we climb higher up the scale, this is where 5D is, ultimate consciousness, pure Tao, flow, right? And all that good jazz. You know, generally speaking, a lot of people are at neutrality, kind of up here. But a lot of people these days are down here at fear and grief and all that stuff, okay? And suffering, all right? See, we cannot live a love-based existence while we have fear, right? We have to heal all the underlying pain and that causes fear within us so that we can rise into the vibration of love and not have any hooks that they can hook us with. See, as long as you have fear, they can hook you with that, all right? Because it's in you, all right? And you can't live up here while you're down here. You can't be at both places at the same time, you know? So you have to eliminate that fear within yourself, the anxiety, in order to rise vibrational. And that is how we disconnect from the 3D. Through healing all those hooks within you so that you can rise vibrationally. Then you're up here, you're going to have different experiences altogether. See, in order to live from the vibration of love, which is up here at 500, you know, we may have to give up all those negative energies. Wouldn't that be something, right? And in order to thrive, we may have to rise above just merely surviving and living in fear. So I want you to write down, you know, where do you find yourself most of the time? You look at these different emotions and what you're feeling emotionally, generally speaking. Where are you most of the time? Are you in fear, grief? Anxiety is around the same spot here as fear. Worry is down here also. Anger, sadness, depression, apathy, neutrality, love, joy, peace. And just kind of think about it for a moment. Where do you spend most of your time? You know, which emotion? Another part of the fifth dimension is being able to live in full expression of your authentic self. In order to do that, or in order to do what you really love, you may have to find your voice. You know, a lot of us have lost our voice along the way, you know. We have had different traumas, including past life stuff, where we lost our voice. and we're afraid to get out there, right? You may have to overcome self-sabotage or procrastination, and you may have to replace it with self-confidence. You may have to connect with your soul purpose and embrace your divine gifts, and give up hiding in the spiritual closet up there. I understand that this may be a lot, but what if you could put yourself into a cocoon for 12 months, and invest into yourself an hour or 2 a week and allow yourself to be nurtured into wholeness, your best self, and into higher vibrations where you could heal your old wounds, learn new ways to be healthy, shift your paradigms, learn new tools to help yourself, truly rise in vibration and start experiencing joy, start living a fulfilled life, achieve results in your personal development on a scale that blows away the personal development industry, because what I'm talking about is a very much deeper type of soul healing that personal development doesn't even touch on, okay? Where you can connect with your inner power and completely eliminate fear and anxiety out of your life. It can be done. It's all possible because I've done it. Am I completely rid of all my fear? No, but I got rid of lots of it, a ton of it. All right, I can face situations now that I wasn't able to face before. And what is the alternative? Staying in the 3D system. I mean, sure, you can do nothing and stay where you are, but living with fear, anxiety, stress, worry, striving to make another buck, lacking in motivation and desire, getting sicker, suppressed financially, continue to be poisoned, enslaved, and dependent on a system that doesn't really care about you, that only wants to profit from you and diminish your power in your life. Is that what you want, I mean, ultimately, it boils down to, what do you want, do you want to be free, Do you really, truly want to live in full expression of your authentic self? Do you want to live in the vibration of love instead of fear? Do you truly want to be happy and experience joy? Do you want to be truly healthy on all fronts, physically, mentally, and emotionally? I want you to take just a moment right now and write down, what do you most desire? If you had a magic wand and you could swing it right now and get what you wanted, get your wish granted, what would you mostly want right now? What do you want? Take a moment and just write down, what do you want? What do you most desire? You have the power. You can do this. You have an amazing ability to co-create your future. But what are you creating? Most of us are on automatic and are creating from our subconscious mind. And most of it is, what we're creating is unresolved issues via the drama in our lives, okay? And so we never get to the point of actually creating the stuff we actually want, because we're inundated with all this unresolved stuff that's in our space that we keep creating on automatic. If you want to co-create your divine destiny, you'll need to make your subconscious mind your ally. The subconscious is far more powerful than your conscious mind. And you can set intentions to high heaven, but if you have counter intentions in your subconscious mind, they will negate your intentions and they will win. You're not going to get what you want if you have counter intentions in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like 90% powerful and your conscious mind about 10%. And it's laughable, the fact that we try to overpower with our consciousness our subconscious mind. That's way more powerful than our conscious mind, okay? You have to actually work with your subconscious mind. You know, in this 12-month system I have developed, which I've been ranking my brains about how to bring forth all this wisdom I have and know-how, etc., in an affordable way to you. You know, I can help you align with the power of your subconscious mind and have it work for you rather than against you. You know, how many of us tell ourselves with every new year, right? This happens. Oh, this time I'm going to lose the weight. This time I'll exercise more. This time I'm going to pursue my heart's desires. I'm going to really make an effort. This time I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to heal myself. This time I'm going to stop smoking pot or stop drinking so much or get off the meds. And then what happens? We don't do it. Why? Because our subconscious mind is overpowering our intentions. All that unresolved pain is working against us. You know, the stuff we're not even aware of, okay? We don't even know it's there because a lot of it comes from actually past lifetimes. Oh, and I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I failed here before. I can't eat right. This doesn't work for me. It's all self-sabotage, all coming from the subconscious mind. But with the ascension process, we're kind of being put between a rock and a hard wall, and we are being forced to deal with our stuff, whether we want to or not, because it's all coming to the surface. It's all coming to a head. And it can be pretty intense and painful, okay? And the more unresolved stuff you're carrying, the more intensity you're going to feel through this whole ascension process. But it doesn't have to be that way, okay? And, you know, there is no other system like this out there that I know of, you know, where you can spend 12 months with somebody at such an affordable price to actually work on yourself and create your own alchemy to 5D health and living, okay? My past 16 years and many other lifetimes have led me to this point to be able to create a system where I can bring forth to you in a simple way, an affordable way, my wisdom, my experience, my know-how, tools, and healing to help you cocoon and be nurtured into becoming the best you, to connect you with your inner power, to become the authority on your health, to create your own alchemy to 5D health and living, and ultimately to disconnect from the 3D matrix so that you actually can thrive. You know, sometimes all we need is just a mentor, support, guidance, healing, and transformation, a new perspective, and a few paradigm shifts, okay? There is nothing like also being part of a tribe. You're going to be part of a private Facebook group in this program where you're actually supported by the group as well. You know, it's going to be so worth it. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to take a commitment. It takes investment in yourself. I mean, it takes investment of time and energy. But, you know, no matter what you do, everything takes time and energy, and everything has a price attached to it. You know, you can invest in your misery or into your well-being. It's up to you. You know, either way, you're going to spend time and energy. You know, being miserable takes very much time and energy, you know. The only question that remains is, what do you want? Okay. So I just want to say, I want you to work with me for about 1 year, in which I will help you to become the authority on your own health, to create your own alchemy of 5D health and living, and to ultimately basically disconnect from the 3D matrix. Okay, so you don't have those dependency and ties to it. You will have the support, the guidance, the tools, the accountability you need to do this, okay? It includes a 24/7 online access from the comfort of your home, self-paced learning and transformation, live online Ascension Connection support meetings. That's alone in a month is about $400 value. You know, continuous support with your goals, you know, unlimited healing with guided healing meditations. You know, 3 healings with me in private sessions run you about $450. You can have unlimited amounts of healings here. Whatever you can take, okay, you can do on yourself. shadow work, the shadow work journey is included in this whole program. So you can go through these exercises, actually go through your own shadow work and heal lots of stuff up. That alone is a value at least of $500. Then you'll have the group support with a private Facebook group. So the total value is roughly about, say, $900 a month if you add it all up, right? And you're getting this for about $100 a month. I mean, wow. You know, you cannot get more affordable than that, okay, to do what I'm proposing to help you do, okay? My question to you is, would you train with me for free? If the answer is yes, and you don't join, then it's just an excuse, you know, because everybody can afford around $100 a month. Could I give it away for free? Sure. But if I want to eat and have a roof over my head and afford my lifestyle, which I deserve, I don't want to give it away for free. You know, I work hard. This is hard work for me to bring you all this information and these tools and everything. You know, how does the saying go? The chicken was involved and the pig was committed. You know, when you have skin in the game, you'll be more committed to doing it than when you don't. Plus, it is important to keep a proper balance energetically, you know, to have equal energy exchange. Otherwise, things don't work very well. You know, you don't get the value out of it. You don't want to be out of balance in your energy exchange, all right? You know, plus, this will make such a super amazing Christmas present to yourself. You know, what are you going to do in 2022? You know, when things get more intense, and they're going to get worse, okay, in the 3D matrix, all right? And you can ask, you know, you can also ask your loved one or your family to contribute, you know, to your gift here. It's a beautiful time of year and a beautiful way to give yourself something that will be so long lasting, will be so life-changing for yourself. What better present is there than saying yes to yourself, to your health, to your well-being, and to your prosperity, you know? You know, I'm going to leave you with this. You will never outperform your self-image. It's driven by a subconscious mind, and there is a much better way than to muscle through or trying to override your limiting beliefs, patterns, and behavior. You know, your subconscious mind is so much more powerful than your conscious mind. It doesn't make sense for you to try to overpower it. You know, and unless you address your subconscious mind, you know, things just aren't going to happen. Unless you match your vibration to the 5D vibration, you will remain in 3D because your vibration right now matches 3D. That's why you're in 3D. You know, so my offer here for you today is, you know, to thank you for coming to see my talk and hear me talk. You know, if you want to do this program, if you sign up before Christmas, 12th, 25th, Christmas Day, I'm offering you a 35% discount on the first month's installment. There's two ways to paying for this. Is either installments, you can pay a monthly fee, or you can pay a full year fee. And on the monthly installment, you get 35% off, which is a savings of $40 on basically on your first month. So instead of $115, you'll be paying $75 the first month, and then the following months will be $115. If you decide to pay the whole year in full, I mean, you can't get a better price for this than that. Spending a year with a professional like myself for, you know, under $1,000. Anyway, you get a 10% discount that amounts to about $106 savings, you know, and so you'll be paying basically $962 for the whole year, which is basically the monthly value in this program. So I hope you do take advantage of it. I do wish you the best in your journey, okay? Whatever you decide to do. And how you get there, to where to sign up and where to learn more, is just type in jointheascensiontribe.com, and that's where you can sign up for it. Or if you want to ask me more questions, you're welcome to do that. Like I say, you have till the 25th to you know, take advantage of this offer here today. And thank you so much for being here today, for listening to me, and I really sincerely hope or wish you the best in your journey, wherever you're going.